Okay, this is our 2020 vintage Ciel du Cheval Vineyard red blend. It is aged in at about 60% new French oak, 10% new American oak. This wine in our lineup is always a classic right bank Bordeaux style blend, so more Merlot dominant. This year is about 50% Merlot, 30% Cab, and a little bit of Petit Verdot and Cab Franc. But I think probably more so than really any Washington winery, we work with more different vineyard blocks at the historic Ciel du Cheval Vineyard, and this is really a showcase of all those different blocks and just how amazing the quality is at Ciel du Cheval.
Yeah, it's great to have in our lineup something sort of distinctively different than the rest of the blends too, with it being Merlot based, and we've kind of always done that, and we make a conscious effort. I mean, we make a lot of blends and try to make a conscious effort to make them all distinctively different from each other, so the blends really don't taste the same.
Yeah, we're getting some really nice like vanilla bean characteristics on the aroma. A lot of nice red fruit coming from that Merlot.
Really drinkable right now.
Yeah, definitely.
There's definitely some tannin there, and would really pair nicely with some, with some food. But definitely kind of like the Merlot in that it's, could almost drink this right by itself and be fairly happy without having, big food pairing with it.
Yeah, I think in general, this blend, the Malbecs, or the Malbec and the Merlot we tasted are tasting really good right away. I would definitely keep that in mind, especially when you're making your selections. Maybe doing like some that you want to drink right away, and then some that you want to age out a little bit.
Yeah, and be careful as you fill these your sheets out that you don't not get enough of these wines. I always tell people I have 2 bottles of that. Oh yeah, that's great. You open it up and then you realize how great it is, and then you only have 1 more bottle to drink. So maybe a 6-pack or something of those wines. I say that jokingly, but not really, because for me it's hard to tell. As you're aging wines out, 2 bottles is okay, but it's better to have a little bit more to sort of, maybe leave one of those, see how it does after, 7-8 years instead of, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and in general, these Ciel du Cheval wines, they definitely all get sold to our members. We usually have a little bit of Cabernet left over, but again, with this being a little lower yield vintage, they might all sell out at release. And then the Heart of the Hill wines are definitely ones that tend to go pretty fast. So yeah, and I can see why. They're tasting really delicious. Cheers.